such. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi everybody, so right now I'm seated in Pastor Moses' office. This is at Victory City Church, Rubaga, behind Ivy's Hotel. He's our guest for today on #EverythingMama, and I believe he's the perfect candidate to talk to us about young people's search for purpose and the role played by parents in that search. In a minute or two, you're about to find out why he is the perfect guest. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back.
Hey Sandra, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, Pastor.
Welcome to my place.
Yes, happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you here as well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so what brings you here?
Well, Pastor Moses, what brings me here today is I was hoping that you would be the last guest on my Purpose series, Young People's Search for Purpose and the Role Played by Parents in that search. And as preparing, I prayed and the Lord put you upon my heart as the perfect guest to talk about this. I know a bit about you, and now I can't wait for the viewers to hear what you have to say because I'm sure it will be impactful. So, question number one
Okay.
would be, and these are 4 questions that I've been asking everybody who has been on the show. Number 1 is...
And mine can't be different.
No, well, I wanted these ones to be similar because they're kind of like the questions that people ponder when they're trying to find out what their purpose is.
Okay.
Questions like, who am I?
Okay.
Why am I on this earth? Why was I created? What things are important to me? What is my purpose? Like, I've been trying to ask everybody these 4 questions because they're kind of like the similar questions that we all ask ourselves at some point when we're in a crisis of purpose. Who am I? Why was I created? Why am I on this earth? What is important to me, and what does purpose mean to me as an individual? Because everybody's different.
Sure.
So from there, and then I'll come to questions that are directly to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's a big question.
It is very big.
Who am I?
Hey.
I used to, over time, who am I changes, and it starts to be a lot of many different things. There's a time I landed on a paper that had who am I, and it said I am a child of God. I am a priest. I am loved, and all those who I am that we find in the Bible. But simply I'm Moses.
Yes.
So I gave my life to Christ in 2013, and that was one of the biggest part. I think it's like, I found gold when I gave my life to Christ in 2013. I am an extrovert. I am passionate about men, mentoring men.
Yes.
That has influenced my life in so many ways. I love men. I want men to be men and not be boys. I want men to grow, men to find their destiny, their purpose in life, for them to step up, to wake up. Yesterday I was reminded by the post I made, I think in 2014-15. I found a woman. This morning I was going to work, dressed up in the KCCA clothes, and she's in a trench, and she's digging the trench and digging the trench, and so it was about 6:30 a.m. and this is a woman digging the trench, and all the men, meanwhile, not all but most men I was finding that were probably in her caliber, they were drunk. Yeah, some coming from the bars, some lying down and sleeping, drunk. And I mean, that devastated me. And for me, I know men can be better. Sustainable societies, they are societies that thrive. They're societies that pass on the values to the next generation. And who is better at teaching values and showing them to the next generation that is why I'm passionate about men, because I know we have a greater future when we focus on men and now that alone is wide, and I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, but that's something I've done for the last many years. I have a member pastor conferences in Uganda, around Uganda. I've done conferences in Uganda, post-war, the LR. So yeah, that's something that I still do right now. Yeah. But also the other part is I'm passionate about people who struggle. What exactly that means is that people struggle because I've had to struggle for the most part of my life.
Allow me to cut you there.
Yeah.
Now use this opportunity to take you back.
Okay.
Because you've not always sat where you sit.
Yeah.
You've always been a manager.
Yeah.
You've always felt a way that you've been. I want you to tell the people who are watching a bit about your different phases in your life, specifically your teenage years,
Yeah.
which is, I think, the time when we struggle most with those questions. Who am I?
Yeah.
What was I created? What is important to me? What am I supposed to do? Tell us a bit about that. Your struggle.
Okay, let me start with that.
Yes.
You know, I see my father for the first time in my life when I was 10 years old, and I'm told about my father a year before I meet him. Yeah, because I think that's when he chose to be present in my life. So I'm told actually because I grew up with my stepfather, and I was told he was my father. So at 8, 9 years. Yes, at 8, 9, I'm told it's not my father. Imagine what's going on in the child's mind. Like, exactly, like the whole confusion. And I was told there's this other father that you have, and I would like to meet you. So I met my father for the first time when I was 10. I think shortly after that, I started to stay with him. Even when I still had the other father that I was told was my biological father, I could still feel the absence, of that love and care and tenderness. And I knew very well that the way he treated me was different from how he treated his real kids. Yeah, and something was not adding up. So anyways, bottom line is that even while growing up, my mother, every holiday would always take me to different homes. I would go spend my holidays at home. I'd always be in different homes with different people. So even that belonging really never existed. So without telling you a lot about into that, when I think I was in senior 2, I used my first drug, which was Cuba.
The one that they used to put under the
under the tongue.
Hey.
Yeah, so I mean, a friend of mine, just a friend of his who was in senior 6, I think gave it to him, and he had used it for like 2 days, and he liked it. And because he was my friend, he's like, try this out. So I tried it, I liked it. The first day it messed me up, but I tried it, I got hooked, continued drugs, and all the drugs that you can name. Think about any drug, and I'll tell you yes.
Yes, so, for real.
Yeah, just think about any.
Let me see. Marijuana, weed.
So yes, so all that, and by the time I was in senior 4, it was I was a mess. But I tried to hide it from my family. But I think like everything you do in the dark always comes out. It often came out, and my family didn't respond to it very well. My paternal and my maternal, none of them really responded to it very well. As a matter of fact, my father's family threw me to jail. My mom came pick me up.
I did not know that part about your life. They threw you in jail?
Yeah, they threw me there. They found me They found me. So they actually really, because I think they told the houseboy that if he's high, just let us know, just come and in. So I was sitting somewhere smoking at home, and I just came and picked me up, and they took me there. When When I reached there, I told them, because I think I was 17, making 18. So I told them I'm underage and I'm not supposed to be here. They told me, who tells you? So I told them, because my father wasn't around, my mother wasn't there. I told them, well, see, none of these guys have a right to bring me here because they're not my parents. He said they do. So I told them, but at least I have a right to make a phone call to my parents because they have not told me my parents. So my mom finds out, she comes, she looks at me so high, she faints there and then, she just faints. They take her back home. So the following day, Osi comes and calls my mom. My mom comes and she's crying, she's in tears. I tell her, because it was coming to media and we're taking me to court to send to zero. So the Osi sees my mother, the Osi tells my mother, take your son. Just take your son. Just take your son. So yeah, that's how my mom rescues me.
Is that how Teen Challenge came into the picture? Or that was much later on?
Not really so much later, but yes, the suggestion came up. My mom said looking for a place to help me, and my auntie Nancy Chloe, she's in Tinder, so she knew about Teen Challenge, told my mom. So that's how I kind of go into rehabilitation. But this is after a long time of messing up my life, because I think. So I finished my senior 4, I tried senior 5, I couldn't balance both, I mean drugs and books.
Yeah.
So I had to choose one. I chose drugs. I missed out something, I'm telling you the truth, and I hope this will not be used as a justification for someone to use drugs or for someone to even desire to take drugs. But I'm telling you, there's a part of peace drugs gave me every time I was high. And there was a place of safety I felt when I used drugs. There was a comfort I felt when I used them. And because these things were absent in my life, yes, peace was absent in my life. The only thing I knew about my life is if you do something wrong, you're going to be punished. You're going to, there's a time I was expelled. I was actually indefinitely suspended from school for a case I didn't even commit. And I'm telling you, I was beaten so bad, and that the community I stayed in suggested that I should take my family to court, as it was that bad. It was torture, it wasn't even punishment. Yeah, I was beaten, locked up in a house, hungry without food and things like that. So,
I want to ask, at this point, like when all of this is going on, because I read somewhere that a crisis of purpose, you not knowing why you're on earth, often also comes from like a place of loneliness or like a place of unacceptance, a place of unrest. If like you're in a place where you need to welcome, especially by the people who should welcome you like family, because that's a role that they play in your life, in helping you discover why you were created, in guiding you to know why you're on this earth, what you're supposed to do and how to chase. Did you have anybody in your life who took time out to say, I see this in Moses, I want to guide him, I want to shape him? Did you have any kind of support like that? And if you didn't have, how did that mess you up?
There must have been such instances in my life when I was young. I think my mother saw the best in me. She saw me as a young boy that was growing up to become a hero for her. But I think as I grew up, and because when my father came into my life, I became automatic Muslim. Yeah.
There was no choice in it. There was no choice in whether you wanted to become.
My father told my mother, we are Muslims. This is my son is Muslim.
And now here you are a pastor of a church. Moses.
So I was taught how to pray and all these things. So I learned, and I was a Muslim. I think I really liked it in some ways for the beginning. But So the thing is this, is that there's one person I don't even remember them. There was just a woman that kind of gave a prophecy in my life. We had just gone to visit my mother and my mom tells. So she says, what's his name? She said, my mom says it's Moses. And she said this was, she said, you're going to be like Moses. You know how Moses delivered the children of Israel? Told her, yes, I've heard the story. I was young, 7, 8, 9. She's like, yes, you're also going to deliver these children. And take these children to God's promised land. I think somehow, for some reason, I've never forgotten that. And this is the reason why I know I've never forgotten that, because it was the first kind of a positive word I've ever
That
heard.
someone had spoken, the first person to speak positively over your life, and the fact that they were a stranger, they were not even a family member, like the first person to believe in you and speak positively over your life. Like, what did it feel like not having any support from family or from like the people that really it should come from? Has that affected you? Like, has it changed how you want to relate with your unborn child?
Yeah, quite on the contrary with the fact that my family didn't, especially from my father's family, all the family members that were around me, because when I grew up, when I met my father, I said to stay much more with my father than I would stay with my mother. So, I mean, these guys did not, they just didn't even speak into my life positive things, but they actually spoke into my life negative things. Several people would tell me, you will never amount to anything. You are going to just die. There's nothing to your life. And this was even way before I even ever used my drug, my first drug. Yeah. And you asked me if that has affected how I'm going to relate with my child. Yeah, but for me, I just want to be there for my child, whether they are good or bad. I just want to be a present figure. I'm not in their lives to make them perfect. I am not in their lives to make them what I want them to be. I am not in their lives I'm in their lives to be a present, loving father. As simple as that. Am I going to spoil my child? Definitely not. I'm going to try and guide them in the best way possible. I'm going to try and give them the best grooming that any godly parent would love to give a child. If my child grows up and they go off, we were talking with my wife and we were talking about all these careers and all these nice things that we would like our child to take on and things like that. And then like it hit me, like it was like, oh, I think God just threw a thought in my mind. What if they're a musician? And in my mind, and what if they are a rapper? And in my mind I was like,
No.
yeah, I will support that. Yeah. So for me, and what if they're a drug addict? What if they mess up with their lives?
Yes.
The thing is this, is that I don't want my child to do all those bad things. I want them to do all these good things that parents love their children to do. Yeah. But this is the thing. My child has their life. I have my life.
Yes.
And for me, I've learned and I'm not yet a parent. Yeah, like I'm not yet parented, and people may look at me and be like, and all those things. But you know what? For me, I have made a decision in my heart, because you see, for me, this is the thing that I've decided to settle with in my heart, is that if my child woke up in the morning and they walked away from the Lord and they did all those funny things, yeah, I would separate what exactly I want to say is this, is that I will separate what I want for them from what I get from them.
Ooh, that's
Yeah. And the earlier I do that, it will help my relationship with him, because then whatever he comes up with, whatever he does, that doesn't affect my relationship with him.
Yes.
My relationship with him is I'm still your father, yes. And I am still here to support you. I am still here to love you. Yeah, if you're going to walk away from the Lord, now your father is hurt and daddy cries every night. He prays for you every day, but daddy is still there for you. Daddy still loves you. He's still present for you. Daddy is still your best friend. Yeah. So yes, I am a pastor, and yes, because this is the thing that parents and especially pastors go through, is that my children have to be an example to other people's children. Who told you that?
Don't you think that's a lot of pressure on the children?
You put a lot of pressure on yourself and on your children, because then their real self never comes out.
That is true.
My child is like any other child, and let them go through life like any other child. If they mess up,
that's
it's
why
okay.
you're there. That's why you, the parent, you're there.
Yeah, if they mess up, it's okay. If they are good and they are so good and they they become an example for still everyone else, then that's okay. Yeah. So for me that's something that I've come to settle at. Yeah. But I mean, bottom line is this: is that there's no one shoe fit for all. Yeah, one shoe size fits all. So even this, it's still an opinion.
Yeah.
That can be better. But one thing that I made clear with my wife is that for me, for every child, I'm going to go down on my knees and I will ask the Lord, this is your gift to me. How should I steward this gift? How should I raise up this child? Because every child is unique, every child is different.
So, Pastor Moses, because you shared with us your journey, like dealing with addiction, dealing with rejection, dealing with loneliness, and that this has fueled your love for men and for the youth, I want you to very specifically address the teenage category. Imagine a teenager, 16 years, yeah? We are living in a fatherless generation.
Yeah.
If we don't have absent parents, they are not there at all, yeah? So imagine a teenager who is struggling with, why don't I have a father? Why doesn't my mother love me? Why doesn't my family accept me? Why don't they see me? So you're dealing with a teenager who has all these thoughts. You were once that teenager, right? What advice can you give to parents or guardians or people who are dealing with teenagers that are having a crisis of purpose? What do I do? Who am I? Where do I start from? Those are the people that I want you to talk to. What would you tell those parents?
When people become parents, they forget that they were once children. And they forget the struggles they went through themselves, the thoughts. And the truth is that if you didn't give your child something, why then expect it from them? Yeah. And I know, yes, parents do their very best to give their child a proper childhood. I'm telling you, if in your home you didn't model, like there was no present father, and
in those four walls before you go out.
There was no present father in that home, or if like in other words, the family that you raised up that child in wasn't like that, and you didn't play a role to at least bring, either it was a pastor or it was a mentor from church, like to bring a man close to your child to become that father figure in their lives, and you yourself, you didn't really train them and bring them up in the way of the Lord, and paid attention to them while growing up. Your child is going to grow up seeking for attention. Your child is going to grow up seeking for love. If they are going to be a girl, they are going to grow up with an imaginary man, in a perfect
and
man.
They look for all these things in
Yes,
the wrong place.
they will do everything to just make sure they capture that. If they are a boy, and no wonder we have all these gay and what and all those other things coming up. And the thing is this, is that depending on where you are in a relationship with your child, And if you know your relationship with your child is not good, it was because it was never built. And start afresh. You know, parents want us to stay kids forever. Because kids don't think. Kids don't, like, mommy,
they follow
mommy is everything.
Goes, yeah.
But we grow up and we begin to think. We begin to start having our own lives.
Yeah.
And if you don't come in on me, in my own life, understand me, build a life with me, it becomes hard for me to trust you even when I have those burning. And this is what parents actually don't realize. Parents think kids don't want to talk to them. Kids want to talk to their parents as the first thing.
Yeah.
But they don't have the courage to. Because for them, the threat that comes with when I talk to daddy about this, when I talk to mommy about this, as in I have talked to children, there is a child, yeah, in a big school. I will even just give the name of the school, Bulldog King's College, Bulldog. I was doing counseling for. She was HIV positive. Her parents didn't know.
Oh wow.
She found out this when she was sitting her senior 6, and she was not willing to talk to them about it. And she was like, they are going to kill me.
So how does it get so bad that your own child... So Moses, now that you're talking about that young girl who was going through all those things and she was so scared to tell her parents, I wanted to ask you, like, how does it get so bad that we're living in a generation where our children are battling things like abortions, teenage pregnancies, drug addictions, and their parents who live with them maybe under the same roof have no idea. Like, do you think these are some of the things that are stopping the young people from having a good sense of direction, a good sense of purpose? Because parents are not necessarily doing what they're supposed to do.
You see, the thing is, this is that parents want to relate with their children from a place of me, I don't struggle, you struggle. I know the solution, this is the solution. Yeah. Now, the reason is, why did a child get the confidence to tell the parents, and it put the confidence to tell me, yeah, I'm coming to and I tell her, you know what, this is what I've struggled with in life. So I open up the door for her and let her into my life. You know what? I also struggle with this. So I know we don't live perfect lives. We struggle. So she finds the courage to share with someone because she knows this person won't judge me. Now you see, I think if parents did this, if parents could open up to their children and tell them, you know what, I struggled with this, yeah, and I struggled with this and I struggled with this. You open them up into your story also, and they will know that mom didn't have it all perfect. So when things are not going well for me, I can trust them. Let me even
It
phrase
humanizes you.
Exactly. Let me even phrase it this way: is that if you do not create an environment in your home that allows for one to be vulnerable, a vulnerability environment in your home, like that allows, like it's okay to be vulnerable, yeah, and you don't just try and keep everything well, yet you know things are not going on well. Like, you know, when you shout at your kids, for you to tell them, you know what, I think I was stressed and I'm sorry for shouting at you. If you don't create such an environment, like, you close them out of your life.
Very good. And your children will not have an explanation for why is mama shouting at me? Why is mama treating me like this? Because there is no honesty.
Exactly.
There is no honesty. So the child is just seeing a mother who is not understanding her, not sympathizing.
There is no
with her.
explanation at all.
There's no explanation for your behavior. So your child is just left with all these habits that they have no idea how to explain.
So they don't even know why you shout. They don't even know why you do all these things.
Yes.
And the next thing they are doing is that, so what I can't even expect what she's going to do when
she finds out
about this. So I will better hide it upon myself, go through this by myself, struggle with this by myself, because I can't trust my parents. And if there's no one else I can talk to, I will do it on my own.
Like told you, you're the perfect candidate to close off this Papa series. You've been there, you've lived the life, you've experienced it. So I'm very thankful, of course. But very first, before we come to the end of this interview, I wanted to ask you, apart from being a pastor, lead pastor of Victory City Church Ruvaga, what else do you have going on? What else are you doing? I know you do arts. Somebody's. Please tell us.
Besides being a pastor, a counselor, every Wednesday I'm in Teen Challenge, and I talk to these guys.
Tell us a bit about Teen Challenge for those who have never heard about it.
So if you don't know about Teen Challenge, it's a drug rehabilitation program. It helps people who are addicted to drugs to recover through using the word of God. And they don't use medicine. So I think it's now been 3 weeks. I've been volunteering there.
Yes.
Every Wednesday. I just go there, teach an afternoon class, and talk to like 2 guys, do counseling there. But before that, I was still doing counseling for guys who are addicted and things like that. Yeah, that was my life. So that's something I can't detach from me.
Would you say that's part of your purpose in life, to uplift and sensitize men about what they can do better, how to overcome addiction? Because you're a living, breathing testimony.
Yeah, it is, and I think when I came out of this, one of the things I said is that I'm going to live the rest of my life helping people not to, and also to come out. Yeah, so it is part of my purpose. Besides that, I'm a businessman. Yeah, I love to do business. I actually just love business, not even just for the money. Because I've put in money a lot of times and didn't come in and didn't come back, and I'm like, it's okay, because I just love business.
Yes.
Yeah, I just love the whole process of investing and selling, making a profit, advertising. So we share a shop in Itinga. Okay. It's a craft shop. So I sell sandals, women, men, shoes. I also do art.
Yes.
Yeah, and I do crafts, art, pieces and things like that. At the church, we run a school, a nursery school. Yes. I'm simply a director. My wife really runs the most things. I think I just sit on top of decisions. When they want a big decision to be done, that's how they call me. My wife runs everything. She literally runs a school with the HM. Yeah, but it's a nursery school.
Tell us your plans for Calvary Nursery and Daycare School.
Yeah, so as a church, we really believe that every child deserves to get excellent education. And that is why we are revamping Calvary Nursery School. We actually started on this journey at the beginning of this year. We brought in someone from an international school to our board to come and advise us. And she's going to walk this journey with us until we upgrade every system, everything, the education system that we are using. We want every child out there to get the best quality education.
Mama Naka down there who doesn't think quality education is possible for her child.
Because of the finances. So as a church, we believe that that's why we exist in a community, and if we have a school as a church, how much more? So we want to make that available for the children out there in our community.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And many more. Maybe it will just come out of the community, which is Wakaliga. Then it will come to your community, to all these other communities. Yeah, but this is where we are starting from.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we thank you for taking those baby steps. Every journey starts with steps, and we thank you so much for taking those steps of Calvary Nursery and Daycare School. For those who have walked this journey with me up until this point, and I have shared with why I started shooting this project, #EverythingMom, it was so that 1 or 2 people who watch can learn something, pick a leaf and use that to apply to their daily life and run with it. Now, this brings me to our question of the day. I've been doing a 3-part series on young people's search for purpose and the role played by parents in that search. Now, what I want to know from you is, what have you learned? What has been the one lesson that has stood out for you that you have picked and are going to run with? Go ahead, let me know in the comment section. As usual, I love to hear from you.
The main thing I do here at church is I pray for people. I do counseling here. I preach.
2:15 says that he disarmed the spiritual rulers and authorities. He shamed them publicly by his victory over the cross. So those are things that Christ came to actually disarm and win victory over. Christ came because man in his ability could not establish the kingdom of God here on earth.
Some Sundays, and I do administration here at church.
I also know that as a church you do community projects where you go into the community and clean up and give back to families that are less advantaged. Tell us a bit more about that and how people can be a part for those who are led to.
Yeah, actually, as a church, we one of the things that I've been a pastor for 1.5 years, I think. One of the things that I felt so strong when I was called as a pastor, I felt so strong that I was not called to pastor a building, I was called to pastor a community.
Yes.
And most of my priorities have been the community itself with the projects that we've done. Just to give you a recent project we did was with the pandemic.
Yes.
We knew that people didn't have food. Just a heat of the pandemic where all the money was dry and everything was dry. We all went through one of those days where there's totally no food. Yeah. So it was a strong burning desire on my heart to feed my community, my neighbors. And for that, God helped us and we fed 190 families in a period of 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we are a community church. We love community. We are passionate about community, and we have so many projects we've been doing with that chairperson. Just reach out to us at the church. We are found in Wakaliga, behind Ivy's Hotel. So at least when you get to Ivy's Hotel, you can ask for VCC Rubaga, or if you have safe border, just put in VCC Rubaga and just come right here, and you'll find someone here to help you through with how you can get involved.
Thank you for everybody who has watched this video up until this point. I have been Sandra Aneno, hosting the lovely Pastor Moses Nsuga of Victory City Church, Rubaga. Pastor, we thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your journey. Thank you for your struggle. Thank you for going through those things so that you could speak to someone out there and let them know that you do have purpose. Your journey matters, your struggles matter, and those are the things that make you who you are. So from us to you, bye and God bless.
All right, bye.